what's up, ma? You need a ride?
I gave her. You see?
Way too. What's going on, my brothers? On my way to your girl's house right now. She called daddy over. I'm playing, but hey man, what's going on? I hope you guys are having a chill day so far. Today I got probably my most swagged out e-bike yet to share with y'all, because let me tell you, this baby looks good. Introducing the Qiolor Tiger e-bike. In the looks department, this baby right here is definitely gonna turn some heads with its classic retro style design, which was inspired by motorcycles and other automobiles from the 1950s. I mean, look at this beauty. This bike has instantly rose to the top of the charts with being one of the most attractive ones I've ever had the pleasure of reviewing on the channel.
Oh my God, girl, who is that? Child, I don't know, but he's so fine. Oh, he look like he got money too, girl. Get his attention. Hey, Zaddy, hey, come over here. We want to talk to you. Please, come over here. Come over here, please. No, he didn't.
Hey, I know I'm joking around, but this bike actually does make you feel cool. There's a whole lot more though than just looks that goes into making a good e-bike, however. What else does this bike have to offer once you get down to the nitty-gritty? Well, let's waste no further time and dive a little deeper into it. The Qiolor was built with the idea of comfort, balance, and of course style in mind, and you feel that while out riding it. The 20x4 inch and over tires are great, which also happen to be my favorite stock e-bike tires. They came on my Qiolor e-bike, and I just love these tires. I love the feel of them and the tread that they have. Great tires. The long saddle offers great cushion and comfort for your cheeks while out on longer rides, and with the bike being full suspension, the bike is designed for making your trips as smooth as possible. The dual piston hydraulic disc brakes provide solid braking and stopping power when you need to slow down or come to a sudden stop. The bike also has great handlebars as well, equipped with a half twist throttle to get you up to speed nice and quickly. It has a strong 750 watt motor at the back end to give you the power you need to get around swiftly, with a peak wattage of around 1100 watts. And it's actually one of the quieter motors I've dealt with too. You still hear it, don't get me wrong, just overall it's much smoother sounding as you pick up speed compared to other e-bikes that I've ridden. The nice slick display provided gives you the bike's information like how fast you're going, battery life, miles total accumulated, distance of your trip, etc. Actually being one of my favorite displays so far I've gotten on an e-bike. The battery on the bike is brilliantly designed to give it that vintage motorcycle look, and I actually love the way they went about doing it. It doesn't get in the way during rides, and it gives the bike personality and a certain level of swagger you don't see in most other e-bikes. A+ job for how they did the battery. I love it. The battery is 48 volts and has two options of either 15 amp hours or 35 amp hours to give you that extra range and mileage you need. I have the 35 amp hour one, and it's definitely the better option, of course, with the extra range you get and not having to constantly worry about your battery life while out on rides. If you've seen the previous test video I did for this bike, you might remember me bringing up I thought the battery life was reading incorrectly, because I would turn it on and it would constantly go back from 80% back to 100%, and I thought something was messed up with it. What I've come to realize is it seems this bike with the 35 amp hour battery in particular, I'm not sure how the 15 amp hour one is, but it depletes at 20% increments at a time and will not stay at that number until fully at that percentage. So for example, it goes from 100% charge to 80% to 60% to 40, but you'll see it jump back up to the previous percentage constantly until it fully reaches that percentage. That's at least what I've noticed when riding around on this bike. I haven't had to charge it back up once yet since I fully charged it out the box. So I'm guessing I'm like sitting at maybe mid 65 to 60% because I've seen 60% pop up on the display multiple times. Just something I wanted to mention because it even kind of confused me at first. Last thing you want while out on rides is incorrect battery reading and you get stranded 10, 20 miles out and you thought you had this percentage, but nah, you really had this one. So just keep that in mind. You will get close to 60 miles of range on the 15 amp hour one and 130 miles of range on the 35 amp hour battery. As always, however, this is with the use of pedal assist and not using 100% throttle. Of course, prices will vary based on the version of the battery you get with the bike as well. Charging time for the battery also is dependent on which version you get, with it being around 5 hours to charge a completely dead battery for the 15 amp hour one and 10 hours for the 35 amp hour one. I personally would have loved to see them get this bike up to like 52 volts just for a little more power and speed, since the bike already kind of resembles a motorcycle, but it's all good. The site lists this bike at having a top speed of 26 miles per hour, most likely for class 3 e-bike laws and safety reasons. You can hit over 30 though. I think the max I've hit is around 34 miles per hour on flat road at 100% battery charge. Now for the small yet my personal favorite features that I love about this bike, for one, its loud horn. Probably one of, if not the loudest horn I've got in stock on an e-bike. It's actually more loud in person. Suckers is definitely gonna hear you when you hit it. Secondly, it has turn signals. Listen, for some reason, any e-bike that has turn signals, it just takes it up a little notch for me. Even if you don't use them, I just always think that they're a great touch to have on e-bikes, so I love the turn signals. The bike can even be connected via Bluetooth. But the number one thing I love the most about this bike is the way that you turn it on. So it has a built-in NFC card reader type of thing to where you have to use the tags provided to swipe over it or use your phone before you can officially turn the bike on. I legit thought that the bike was broken and even emailed the company like, yo, your bike ain't turning on. Your bike ain't turning on. And then that's when they told me about it. This is legit the first e-bike I've ever gotten to where I've seen something like this. And let me tell you, this extra layer of security and protection is a game changer if you get anxiety while in a store or something like that, away from your bike for a bit. Don't worry, suckers will not be able to turn it on and mess with your baby. Again, it's the small things that make the overall quality of these e-bikes that much better, so I love that the company added those little things. Stuff like nice stickers provided in the box to add even more style to your bike is just little things that may not mean much to some, but I appreciate. Nighttime riding is just as good with a bright headlight at the front and bright lights in the back to let you see what's ahead and make others around you aware of your presence. I cannot stress enough how much I love when bikes come with good headlights and rear lights and you don't have to upgrade immediately. I have rode this bike out in the rain too. I actually got caught out in some heavy rain as I showed in a previous video. Yeah, I got soaked. It was like 1 minute it wasn't raining, the next minute I was caught out in like a mini hurricane. Like no lie, like the wind was blowing hard, it was raining hard as freak. I was like, oh no, I hope I don't get caught out and mess up this bike. And I did however receive an error code. It was like error code EO8, which one of the causes for that is when water enters the controller, which is located underneath this bike. Again, most e-bikes to some extent are water resistant, not waterproof. That is a key difference. Now, I've been out in the rain multiple times on different e-bikes, no problem. But you never want to be out when it's raining hard, which I unfortunately got caught in some hard rain. So I had to try to rush for cover. And all was good though after a while, and the error code eventually disappeared after I dried down the bike with a towel and dried out any spots around the battery and the controller. Make sure you do this if your e-bike gets wet, just to be cautious of any water damage. The bike weighs around 87 to 88 pounds without the battery and close to 100 pounds with the battery attached. So it is on the heftier side when it comes to e-bikes, but it also has a total payload capacity of 400 pounds, so you can carry things on this with relative ease. I will say the bike doesn't feel bad at all to pedal, actually quite smooth, honestly, but it clearly wasn't designed with pedaling as your primary way to get around, as the bike has no different gear shifts to switch to. Now, based on your height, pedaling could still feel a little awkward, as when you pedal, your knees come up a little high because of your seating position, and there is no adjusting the height of the seat because of the saddle, of course, so that might be something you want to keep in mind. I'm 5'10", and that's been my experience with the bike while out on rides, and even my sister said it's almost like the bike is too small for me when she saw me on it. And I mean, at my height, I still feel comfortable on the bike while pedaling, though for people in the 6 feet and higher range, this might be something to where you feel a little awkward just because of how high your knees are coming up while you are pedaling the bike. But again, this is a bike, in my opinion, that wasn't really designed for pedaling, but yeah, just to keep that in mind. Two quick things I didn't like about my overall experience with the Qiolor bike, as no bike is perfect, is one, the logo's plastered all over it. This bike has like 2 or 3 logos too many, in my opinion, of the exact same branding on both sides of the bike in corners, and I just feel like it's just a wee bit too much, and it gets in the way of the overall look and sexiness of this bike. A lot of e-bike companies do this too, to where they put their branding all over their bikes, and it's kind of a distraction to me, and I'm sure many others. This bike just still looks so good that it doesn't really affect it as much, so it can kind of get away with it, but it still kind of messes it up. You know, like I love the branding of the plate on the back. I think this was a great touch, and I think it adds, you know, to the personality of this bike. But all over on both sides is kind of overkill if this bike didn't look as good as it does. Less is more when it comes to things like this on e-bikes, in my opinion. I will also say, and I've told one of the people at the company this, that the manual for their bike can be improved a little. I mean, it has most of the information there, like, you know, any like errors and like maintenance about the bike and stuff like that. But when you're assembling this bike, there's some things that I don't know if they forgot to put in the manual, or they just assumed that you would know already if you're buying this bike. But there was no info about how to attach the front wheel. The front wheel uses a quick release axle, which is my personal first one, as all the other e-bikes I've reviewed have had the traditional screw on both nuts mechanism. I didn't know what the frick this was or what to do with it at first. And like, I literally had to email the guy and like, yo, what is this? No mention of how to use it in the manual. No information of how to attach the headlight to the front, even though that wasn't an issue for me. For others, it could be if it's not mentioned in the manual. No mention of how to attach the front fender. They don't even mention in the manual that you have to use the NFC card reader to actually turn the bike on. Like, those tags was just sitting there, and I just thought it was for like decoration until I actually emailed the guy and he told me, oh no, this is what you do. Though most of these e-bikes come like 90% pre-assembled, little things like this could prove to be frustrating if you're not accustomed to putting together your first e-bike when you have no steps to look at of how to do it. You don't want to spend over $1,000, $2,000+ and crack open the manual and not have every detail about your bike in there, is all I'm saying. Overall though, this bike is solid and designed to near perfection, man. It has all the things and more that you would look for in a higher end e-bike and is a joy to ride. If you're gonna spend $2,000+ on a bike, you want to feel like you got your money's worth both in the quality of the bike and its appearance. And you'd be hard pressed to find a bike that has everything I just mentioned about this one in this price range. If any of you guys are interested in this baby after watching this video, I have an affiliate code you can use in the description box below to get yourself a little discount off that you can add upon checkout on top of any other future site sales they may have. That's about it for me though. I feel like I covered everything that I needed to for this bike. Of course, if you guys have any other questions or comments or anything like that, you can leave it down in the comment section below and I'll try to respond to everybody that I can. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are having a good day and are staying safe. Till my next video, my brothers and sisters, I'll catch y'all boys in my next one, all right? Meow.